Com here with Stephen A. Smith. Just a historic deal announced. You're part of the deal. How exciting is it? It's not like a 1 year and it's going to go away. It's a multi-year agreement, and it's going to bring boxing back to the forefront, it looks like.
Well, it's long overdue. I mean, you know, my affiliation with ESPN and has been primarily with the NBA for many years before, obviously, I transitioned to doing First Take. But one of the things that a lot of people don't know is that when I first arrived and George Bodenheimer, you know, was the president, and Mark Shapiro was in charge of ESPN, to the days when John Skipper took over in like 2005 or 2006, they will tell you that I had been the one in their face begging them to put boxing on free television. It wasn't just because it's my passion. I think it's a phenomenal sport with phenomenal athletes who honor the sport the way that it's supposed to in terms of their work ethic, their discipline, and the kind of fearlessness that they're willing to put into pursuing their goals. And I think that boxers do that better than most. I think they deserve the respect as a profession that they don't get, that they don't deserve, that they don't get rather. And I think that if I could have anything to do with contributing to it in a positive way, where they get recognized for their greatness and the sport gets recognized for the kind of impact it can have on us in a very positive way as a society, I just think that it's something that we should all contribute to. I've always been a passionate boxing fan, and I'm just honored to be a part of this deal.
You mentioned how trying to bring the sport back to the forefront, like Mayweather and other boxers going to NBA games, but at the really big fights, we see all those NBA guys, football players, celebrities at the boxing events, where it seemed kind of more like an elitist type of sport. Do you think this brings it like to everybody?
It could. It hasn't yet, obviously, but it could. And the reason why is because what we need to do is start really broadcasting those top 10 contenders. We need to make it so it's not, you know, it's not just passe that somebody's a top 10 fighter. Show who they are. You know what? If you're in that top 10, you should be on television. We should be talking about you. We should be saying, okay, this is the champion in this division, but this guy is coming. You know, this guy matters. This guy has that kind of potential. And we shouldn't allow folks to be able to duck anybody for years upon years at a time. I just brought up to somebody, Adonis Stevenson. You're the light heavyweight champion of the world. Big time puncher. He can fight. Nothing but respect for him. Until he wouldn't fight Kovalev. I mean, this guy was willing to literally be out of the sport rather than get in the ring with Kovalev. That's not what champions do. And so for me, like you have the UFC, they may have Dana White. Well, in this deal, you have Top Rank in concert with ESPN, because if you shine a spotlight on these fighters, that's great, but it also puts pressure on all of us to make sure that the top fighters are getting in the ring with one another instead of avoiding each other and trying to make folks wait for years before they fight one another because they're able to get away with that. You don't want that. In the heat of competition, you want to see the best against the best, but you also want to see people creeping up on one another. You want to see those individuals on a come up, and you want to monitor their progress and their potential, because those are the kind of things that create an insatiable appetite for boxers or for individuals in any sport. You got to give fans something to tease them and to let them fantasize about to some degree as an indication of what could virtually be coming down the pike. I think that's what you have to do.